Hello everybody, Thomas J. Proquest coming back at you with some more Oldhim practice for Proquest 3 season and hopefully calling Indianapolis. Still working on Oldhim. We have a variation of the Wesley Dong number 5 Worlds deck. I am trying out Crown of Providence instead of Crown of Seeds, and I'm trying out Ironrot Lakes over Ironhide Lakes, and I'm also wanting to test Snapdragon Scalers over the Ironrot. But first game we got here is a Kano. So we're going to put in our Oasis, 3 of them, and we're going to take out our 3 Command and Conquerors, and then the lobby crashes. So we go into another one. We got Iyslander here. So what I want, I'm taking out the Command and Conquerors. I'm taking out the Out Muscles and the Zealous Beltings because it's too many resources to go again. She gives you a Frostbite from instant speed from Arsenal, and then you want to go again, but you're out of the resources. Like, you can't swing Hammer for 3, out Muscle for 3, and then pay for Frostbites. It just doesn't work. So we're taking those out, and we're going to put in the Staunch Responses Red and also the 3 Oasis. Now, I typically run Sledge, but I want to try the Shield. Now, I want to try the Shield basically for Winter's Wail, because it's really hard to have 4 resources to swing Sledge and then also have resources to pay for Frostbites. And that's not really an issue until the end of game when you're playing against Iyslander, and all of a sudden they have their 2-3 Frost Hexes up and they Ice Eternal you, and then you have 4 or 5 Frostbites, and then your Hammer costs you 4, and you usually don't have any resources to get rid of the Frostbites, and then every single Frostbite does arcane damage depending on how many of the Frost Hexes. So I want to try Winter's Wail, and I also want to keep my Tunic. I typically go AB3 with arms, robes, and boots. Maybe in the future I'll go this setup here with a Tunic, but I'll replace the shield for Arcane Lantern, so I still have AB3. Because over the course of this game goes 20-21 turns, I do take quite a bit of damage, and I leave resources floating because I only have AB2. So not really efficient. But I start the game by drawing a lot of reds, and they start turn 1 by putting up 2 Ice Ambulance. So I was like, here we go. Let's try to work our way through this. Let's try to get as many reds out of the deck as soon as possible, so when we come to second cycle, I have lots of resources to deal with their plays. The big thing you want to look for is at end of the game, they have 2-3 Frost Hex, they have maybe 1 or 2 either Ice Amulets or Insidious Chills, they have their Storm Striders, and then they go completely bananas. You swing using 3 or 4 resources for Sledge or Winter's Wail, and you might have 1 card in hand, maybe it's a blue, you have 3 resources, and all of a sudden they go boom, Arsenal, give you a Frostbite, maybe it's an Ice Eternal, pitch some cards, give you 3-4 more Frostbites, or we're going to snap off Storm Striders and play something to poke you for some arcane damage, or maybe discard a card, and then we're also going to go Moon for 3, which can easily rack up to 10 to 12 damage of arcane after you AB3, and it gets pretty crazy, especially if it's Ice Vein, because that's a red Ice Vein's coming in for 5 arcane. If it hits, you have to pitch a card for 2 resources or discard. You put that on top of Storm Striders and a Waning Moon, it gets ugly super fast with the Frost Hex and Insidious Chills Amulets. So I'm going to try to push the damage as fast as I can, and I get off to a really good start. And I also want to keep my life high, because I know that at any moment she can ping me for 12 to 14 health. So I'm just going to keep pushing damage, always usually trying to not get too greedy with damage and keeping 1 card. If you try to do like an E-Strike with Go Again, and then they respond and give you a Frostbite, you usually, for Guardian player, for Oldhim, I don't have the resources with the Frostbite to get that second attack, so all my E-Strikes I'm just coming in for buffing them for the +2. And then I'm always selecting my blue cards first and putting non-blue cards at the very bottom when I pitch that. So they got 2 Insidious Chills up, not super worried. At this point, I have a great life advantage, 28-11, but you're going to see they really drag the game out with the Find All Fighting Spirits. They might have been running all. I think they're only running 3. I don't know. They get a lot of life gain when the game's over. I did 46 damage or 45 damage. You'll see it at the very end credits. So they gained a bunch of life throughout the game. Or I think it was 3 Oasis and then the 6 Fighting Spirits. And they gained every single time because they were below. So I feel good. Just trying to keep chipping away here. One turn at a time. Blocking some damage when I can. Discarding that red. Get that red out of there. I want the blues. Just taking a look to see how many reds I have out. I have 21-ish in the deck. And at this point I have at least 10, 12, maybe 14 of those reds out. So I'm feeling pretty good. I still have 19 health. I still have tempo. We get this nice Endless Winter fused here. I still have my Crown of Providence. So, and I'm going to use that eventually to get that Channel Lake out of Arsenal. I had the resource there, so I could have just paid for it. Their card that they did, that Cold Snap, but I thought I was out of resources, so I just selected no. It didn't really matter anyway because they just passed their turn. On my turn, unfreezes. Now we get to swing at them big again with another Spinal Crush. From practice, I've learned that on the Terrace Under hands, do not Terrace Under for 3 resources and then try to swing a hammer or any other Guardian. Because every time I've tried that, I've never actually got the second attack off because they always Frostbite me or they Amulet me or they Insidious Chill me and I run out of the resources. So if you get the Terrace Under, I'd recommend don't playing it. I've definitely lost games over that. Yep, so we're going to block off some damage while we can, and we're going to do as much as we can. So they gain in life, take a little life, gain in life. Not the most ideal hand. There's definitely some hands where if I would have had the pummel, this game would have ended much sooner, and they even put in the text box, here comes the pummel twice, and I didn't have it either time. Command and Conquer here, I can block out, I have the resources, I can Winter Whale back. Still keeping my Oasis. My Tunic is up to activate the Oasis, so I have that resource there if I need it. If they're threatening something big. They're not, so we're going to keep whittling them away. Quite a few of their Acer Iceveins, their E-Strikes, and their Wounded Bulls are in their graveyard right now, so I'm feeling really good. And we're 13 turns into the game. They don't have any Frost Hexes up, and there's no Frost Hexes in their graveyard. I didn't see any Frost Hexes pitched so far, so I do not believe they are running any Frost Hexes in this deck, which makes me feel a lot better because that big combo turn relies on the Frost Hex. So here comes another Fighting Spirit for them to gain a life. I blocked that out. Typically, with this aggressive Oldhim build, I like to just take the damage and then swing back, Terrace Under, Hammer, that's 6 resources. But then all of a sudden you get 1, 2, 3 Frostbites, and you can't swing that Hammer Dominated. And if they go to discard a card, they could just play instant speed and then pitch into Waning Moon. They could Storm Striders to get out of that pitching or discarding 2 cards, so they have some way out, so it's not, to me it's more of a trap. It's good in other matches, but not against the Wizards. Definitely not against Kano either. He just instants, Kano abilities. So I'm just hoping I survive to get my Tunic counter up to 3 so I can activate the Oasis while still swinging the Whale. I'm definitely vulnerable here. They could definitely pop off and definitely do damage. But they elect to keep the Storm Striders to the very, very end. And this person was playing slow. It was a great game. I played for about 21 minutes. They played for about 30 minutes. So the game was 51 minutes total. So we've been right there at draw time. I probably would have been bothering the judge to ask my opponent to play a little quicker. But hey, can we play a little quicker? We're running out of time. Just looking at the Storm Striders there, I know that how valuable they are. And going through my graveyard, I got about 18 reds in there. So the only reds I really have left is that 1 or 2 staunch responses, and then this Oasis. So my attacks are definitely going to be a little light. Now in this occasion here, we could Chokeslam 4 and then swing a Pummel. But then that puts me with no resources. That takes my health down real low. I'm trying to stay above 12. Because I know they can pop off for 12 with Storm Striders. Really any attack plus any other Storm Strider attack with Waning Moon can easily come in for 12. So I'm just looking through their grave, seeing what they got left. They're running low on options, or at least good options or better options. So they take damage to go to 2. Here comes the Ice Vein. Yep, we're going to block that with the Oasis there. I definitely don't want to take any damage. I definitely don't want to discard or pay 2. And then I still have cards here to swing the Frosty Winter's Wail. Still have my Tunic up. So we can definitely block some damage. Yep, let's block that damage. Keep my resource. The Frostbite doesn't mean anything, so we're just going to pass priority over. We're going to end a turn. Frostbite explodes. So here we are. We got another good one here. We got this E-Strike. Hopefully we can swing it for 7. And then we still have blues when they come after. And, they could Storm Strider and stuff here. We have the blues at pitch for that AB2. Looking back at this, it would have been nice to have the Arcane Lantern. I definitely like having the Tunic available. Sledge is nice, but that 4 resource cost just is brutal sometimes. Like the first couple turns in this game, I had a lot of reds. So I wouldn't really be able to sledge anything. He's going to snatch there. First snatch I've seen in Iyslander. Fighting Spirits for sure. Wounded Bulls for sure. Snatches, not so much. Same thing for Scar for a Scar. I haven't really seen any Scar for Scars. So another Spirit to get another life. We're just going to block out to keep our life up. I am getting a little concerned because I am getting below that 12 mark. But I still feel good. Keep a couple resources here per usual in case they try to go off. Then I can AB something. They're blocking with their Ice Eternal, so that makes me feel really good. They're coming in for 7. We can block some damage. I'm going to take some damage here because I want to swing the Winter's Wail and keep some AB in case they try to Storm Striders me. So, getting a little more nervous, but look, they have 12 cards in their deck and they've gone through most of their major threats, so I feel really good. They're taking a long time to see what they want to block with. They can't let it hit, it's lethal. I gotta 3 block it and go down to 1 health. So they could let it hit, then they get the Frostbite, then they gotta pay for it. Which is an issue for them. No arsenal though, so they're coming in for 8. We're gonna block 7 of it. Probably could have thrown my Tunic in there and then go for Macho Grande. I'm really concerned about going for the Macho Grande because the 7 resources. So if I pitch my whole hand, or 3 cards in my hand to hit the 7, like, yeah, I'll win if it hits, but then they could easily Storm Strider into the Waning Moon there and kill me. So I block out the CNC. I'm thinking about it right here. Like, I can Macho Grande this. And I go, no, let's not Macho Grande. Let's get 2 cards out of hand. And then still keep a blue for AB. Now they're really running low, so they just pass priority to Arsenal because they're set. This is the turn. If they don't kill me here, they lose. So I get greedy, of course, trying to get this dominated Winter's Wail, and they just say screw that. So I lost out on the resource there. Emeritus for 4. I can AB 2. I know I'm going to blow up my Tunic, and then they're going to moon me for 3. I can AB 2, so we're going to take 1, and then they're going to play another Emeritus. So we take 1, 2, 2, they're 5, and go